Hey, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Dirt Bike Channel. I'm your host, Kyle Brotherson, and today I'm continuing a little discussion on electronic fuel injection. Something that people overlook with an EFI bike is the fact that they are very, very responsive. I've been riding a lot of them, and they are so responsive right off idle that it's almost like it's too responsive in some situations. They want those bikes to come alive like crazy as soon as you open the throttle at the low RPMs, and it can make some of those bikes actually more of a handful to ride in the technical terrain. The reason why I know that is because I've ridden 4 different fuel injected 4-strokes in the last year. I've ridden a 250, I've ridden two different 250s, a Yamaha and a KTM. I've ridden 2 different 350s. They were both KTMs. One's a 2016, one was a 2014, and I've ridden a 450. It was a 2014. Those are all bikes that I have owned in the last year, cycling through doing some of these reviews. And what I've noticed is that they are so dang responsive right off idle that it makes it like when you, whether it's a 4-stroke or a 2-stroke, I mean, these are all the 4-strokes I'm talking about though, as soon as you're kind of in a tricky section going through some stuff, it's loose terrain, you've got, you have to have your tire placement just perfect, and you like nudge the throttle in any way, and that bike just goes whoosh, and it just lurches forward. It's just like instant. The power's so instant that you like lose traction, and it can kind of get you out of your rhythm. And you can say, well, you can get used to that. And well, yes, you can get used to that. It puts you a little bit of a disadvantage sometimes when it's really tricky. Whereas a carbureted model, I know it's going to sound weird, but because they don't run so amazingly crisp right off idle, it's almost like a little bit of a cushion, so that when you make the slightest twitch of your throttle, if you're in that tricky, rocky situation, it doesn't go wah and kind of lurch out from under you. So the little bit of a softer punch off of the very bottom of your RPM range on a carbureted model, man, it makes it a little bit more forgiving. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that like we should take EFI off of all of our bikes. I'm not saying that. But I do think that if we can get these things tuned so that they aren't just ready to explode right off idle. I mean, I know I love a 2-stroke where the power just explodes on you. I love that. But I don't want it to explode, right off idle. I want there to be a little bit of a build up there, a little bit of a ramp up there, and on the 4 different 4-strokes, or 5, maybe there's 5 different 4-strokes that I've owned and put multiple, lots and lots of hours on in the last year, they just went whack, and they just wanted to just instant power right off idle. And it makes it a little bit less controllable. And in some situations, it can make it a little bit more intimidating. I know that's how my dad felt. I put my dad is 62. I put him on a couple of the different 4-stroke models that I had that were fuel injected. And here he has been a long time 4-stroke lover. He hated 2-strokes until last year when I put him on a couple of my different 2-strokes, and he got to like them a little bit better. Or he got to know him a little bit better, I should say. And then I went and put him on a couple of these hopped up 4-strokes, like this 350 or a 450 or a 250, and all of them, he wasn't really that comfortable on them because he likes to ride slower, and the power right down low, as soon as you would twitch the throttle, it would just like rocket ship. And he was more comfortable as a 62-year-old man. He was more comfortable on my carbureted 2-stroke. I mean, that's just, it's one person. It's one example. But I'm I know we're going to get two-stroke fuel injection. I think it's coming. A lot of people rant and rave about the oil injection that's on the betas, and I want to try a beta. I'm all for trying beta because everyone says that they're amazing, but it isn't fuel injection on the beta. It's just oil injection, which means I just don't have to mix gas. To me, mixing gas isn't a big deal because I buy a pre-mixed bottle of oil, you know, dump that into my gas can, and then put five or six or 5.5 gallons of gas in. It's easy, super easy. But the oil injection is going to be good for some guys. For me, it's not a big deal. I'm not super stoked that beta has oil injection. I'm sure that when fuel injection does come around to the two strokes, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna have to debate it, and we're gonna have to, you know, see if we like it. And I'm not saying I don't like it. Like on this bike right here, the EFI on this 4-stroke sitting behind me, I like it. It's great, but it's not so great that I'm like, oh, I can't wait for it to come over here. I actually kind of want the 2 strokes to stay carbureted as long as possible because they're easier to work on, they're easier to tune. I mean, you can't work on that. Now, some guys would say, well, you never need to work on that. Well, most of these bikes are pretty new. Computers do fail, things fail, components fail, and it's expensive. A part like that is going to be expensive. So I'm glad that we have it on 4 strokes. And I'm also glad that the 2-stroke is a little bit different and we still don't have it on that. So anyway, just some thoughts for you guys. I know this is probably part 2 of a video series, if I've split the video up into 2 different parts talking about electronic fuel injection. I really appreciate you guys, the support that you guys have shown me. And if you want to help to continue to support Dirt Bike Channel, one thing that you can definitely do is go over to dirtbikechannel.com/parts. I have a link there, or a couple of links there, affiliate links, where you can order your parts for your bike through a couple of, Rocky Mountain ATV and through motosport.com. You'll be able to get your parts. It's not going to cost you any extra, but Dirt Bike Channel will get a small referral bonus, and that helps us to put out more content like this. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.